everybody and welcome back to my booktube channel, Books with Leo, and today I have a video full of graphic novel recommendations for you guys. So in this video I'm going to be recommending comics and graphic novels that you guys should check out, especially if you want to get into graphic novels for the first time. I've got some great recommendations because I haven't been dabbling in this genre for that long. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the rest. So the first graphic novel I want to recommend is Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang. And oh my god, I love this graphic novel series so much. I've only read the first volume, but this one is already amazing. If you love the 80s and if you love Stranger Things, then this one is definitely so for you. This is about a group of paper girls who run the paper rounds, as you can see here, and they sort of stumble into this sci-fi-esque alien conspiracy thing, and first they stumble into a machine, but then they also get into trouble with the actual agents or sort of alien people that are controlling the machine and everything that's happening surrounding it. And this book is just basically one big alien conspiracy theory. Very sci-fi. There's also some time travel involved, I think. I'm not sure because it's been a long time since I read this, but I do know I really enjoyed it. And also the colour schemes and just everything about this is so beautiful. It's so well done. And yeah, I just love the 80s vibes. I'm all for the 80s. So this one, if you love the 80s, please check it out. Please check it out if you like the 80s. I'll show you guys some of the imagery so you can get a better idea of what it looks like on the inside. So that's the first graphic novel I want to recommend to you guys. And the second one I want to recommend is Heavy Vinyl by Carly Ustin, and this one is about a girl who gets to work in a vinyl shop, and then she discovers that in that shop all the people that work there, all the girls, form a girl group, like a girl fight group, a vigilante group that fights anti-girl crime, and it's amazing. It's so much fun, and our main character Chris has a huge crush on one of the other girls that works in the store, and that's just a lot of fun to read about. It's so heartwarming. And the thing I also really like about this graphic novel is all the 90s vibes. It is so incredibly 90s. The year it's set in is, I think, 1998, which is the year I was born in. Fun fact. And yeah, I just love all the 90s vibes. We're going from 80s to 90s, so at least we're going in the right order. I've read the first 2 volumes of these so far. They're all on scribd, so use my link to get some scribd because amazing, and there's so many graphic novels on scribd. So yeah, Heavy Vinyl is also definitely one of my favourite graphic novel series at the moment, and one I highly check you to urge out.
I highly check you to urge out.
The next graphic novel series I want to talk about is BB Free by Gabby Rivera. I've read all the volumes out of BB Free at the moment. This is, I think, officially a comic series because it's very small, tiny issues, but they're so much fun. I love the colour scheme. It's like all browns and hazy purples and mauve colours, and it is so gorgeous. Also, the illustration style is so cute. It's very unlike anything I've ever read or seen before, so I really love that. BB Free surrounds around BB Free, who's almost 15 years old, and she really wants to go on this trip when she turns 15 together with her best friend, and her best friend is disabled. She's in this sort of cool mobile that is so cool. It's sort of a wheelchair, but it's like a sort of ultra mobile, and it's very cool. And they live in this post-pandemic world where they live in sort of a swamp, but it's a very nice swamp with like cute lights, and it's very atmospheric. It's got like fireflies and a lot of lakes, and they all live in these like tiny pots that float on the water, and it looks very beautiful. BB's father is very strict and he does not want her to go on this trip, so she's starting to think of a plan how she could go on this trip, but she's also discovering that she might have some magical abilities, and she and her friend are also starting this podcast that's very rebellious, this radio cast I think it is more, and it's just it's such a heartwarming read, but it's also full of action, and I love that combination. So there's like beautiful atmospheric imagery to look at, but there's also a lot of action. There's like secrets hidden in the stories, and it's just very nice. I really enjoy this comic series. I flew through it and then I almost immediately read it again because it was just so much fun. So BB Free is one I highly recommend. I love this one. And then of course this wouldn't be a video on my channel if I didn't talk about Giant Days, which is my favourite graphic novel series, I think. A lot of these are my faves, but I just love Giant Days so much. So much, so much, so much. Giant Days is about these 3 girls, Daisy, Esther and Susan, and they go to university together. This story is set in the UK, so it's UK university, and this is all about growing up, being an adult for the first time, going to university, exams, love, discovering yourself. I feel like I've talked about this so much in the past couple of weeks on my channel, but it's just one of my absolute favorites. This series can be very trippy, but it is so much fun and the jokes are amazing. There's so much feminist humor in these, and that is just something that I really love because it's so clever, ingrained in the story. And all of the three girls are such amazing characters. Esther is like very much the pretty girl, but she's also super gothic. She's very emotionally disturbed. I relate to her a whole lot and I also have a crush on her. And then we have Susan, who's sort of very tough girl but very sweet on the inside, and we have Daisy, who's queer and I think also biracial, and she's figuring lots of things out and she's a little bit wacky but in the best way possible, and she's like rescuing baby birds and dating weird girls, and I relate to that as well. So yeah, this graphic novel series is just so much fun, and every time I read a new volume, I think there's over 60 volumes in total. There is so many, it's incredible. I just get like so happy and hyped for the next one. So yeah, love this so much. The next graphic novel series I want to talk about is Ghosted in LA. I'm not sure who wrote it, but I'll be sure to put a picture up here so you guys can see. I recently started Ghosted in LA and it is so unlike anything I've ever read before, and also I love all ghost stories. Like, I'm such a big sucker for ghost stories. So this is about a girl who falls out with her best friend. They have an argument and her best friend basically says you always rely on your boyfriends too much, and our main character's like, nah, that's not true. But then she moves to college with her boyfriend. He breaks up with her and she discovers that maybe she does rely on him too much, and that is when she goes to this house. She basically runs away and comes across this beautiful mansion, and in there are loads of ghosts, and she discovers that after she's sort of stumbled in, and then she makes friends with all the ghosts. And this story is basically about her being in LA and living there and making friends with all these ghosts and trying to, you know, be herself and let loose with the boyfriend and possibly also make things up with her best friend. And I've only read the first volume. I think I've also just summarised the whole first volume, so I'm very sorry for that. But I'm really interested to dive into the next volumes. I love the illustration style. It's very grainy at certain points, so it's like there's like a grain over the illustrations, which is very cool. And also just ghosts. I love ghosts, and I love any story about a girl finding her own independence for the first time, so that is something I'm also really here for. I'm really enjoying that one too. So this was my video on my favourite graphic novels out there at the moment. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you have any graphic novel recommendations, definitely leave them down below. I think this video may be a bit short, but that's okay, because lately I've been uploading so many videos that are so long, so I think this will give you guys a nice break. And yeah, don't forget to click subscribe, click the like button and tap the bell to make sure you never miss when I upload a new video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye!